On May 6, 2021, Palestinians began protesting in Jerusalem over a forthcoming decision of the Israeli Supreme Court regarding the eviction of 4 Palestinian families from Sheikh Jarrah, a neighborhood of East Jerusalem. The area is informally annexed to Israel but under international law remains part of the Palestinian territories which Israel administers under belligerent occupation. The protests quickly escalated into violent confrontations between Jewish and Palestinian protesters. The following day, the major Islamic holy site in the holiest to Judaism, known as al-Aqsa Mosque compound or Temple Mount, was stormed by the Israeli police with explosives fire exchange, rubber bullets, and stones throwing. The violence coincided with Qadr Night, observed by Muslims, and Jerusalem Day, an Israeli national holiday. The confrontations occurred ahead of a planned Jerusalem Day march by far-right Jewish nationalists that was later cancelled. More than 300 people were injured, mostly Palestinians, drawing international condemnation. The Supreme Court ruling was then delayed for 30 days as the Attorney General of Israel, Avichai Mandelblit, sought to reduce tensions. On 10 May, 2 Palestinian militant groups, Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, began firing rockets into Israel from the Gaza Strip, hitting multiple residences and a school. Israel launched airstrikes against Gaza, including airstrikes targeting multiple apartment buildings and a news office building. 42 people have died in the latest Israeli airstrikes on Gaza, as the conflict with Palestinian militants entered its 7th day. Gaza health officials said 16 women and 10 children were among the dead. Israel's military said it had been targeting leaders and infrastructure linked to Hamas, the militant group that runs Gaza. Hamas launched a new barrage of rockets towards southern Israel on 16 May afternoon. Israel pounded Gaza with airstrikes into the early hours of 16 May, destroying a tower block that housed news media organizations, while Palestinian militants fired rocket salvos at Tel Aviv. The 12-story block in Gaza City brought down by Israeli airstrikes housed the U.S. Associated Press and Qatar-based Al Jazeera media operations. The United States told Israel that ensuring the safety and security of journalists and independent media is a paramount responsibility, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said. U.S. President Joe Biden later spoke to both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in an effort to restore calm. Meanwhile, 1A UN Security Council meeting has begun, with international mediators hoping to broker a ceasefire. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres opened the meeting by describing the violence as utterly appalling and said the fighting must stop immediately.